Today I want to talk about the design process. So the design process is huge. So whoever your designer is, I use 2 or 3 different designers on most of my projects, and they do a fairly good job. We keep it simple. We like to keep the same layout that the clients have. The reason why I like to keep it that way is because this way we don't have to run a lot of electrical, we don't have to run a lot of plumbing. So wherever the sink is, wherever the dishwasher is, wherever the range is, we don't have to run gas. We like to keep it within that same area. So it kind of makes the design process simple for us. So that's one option. The next option is where someone wants to change the entire space. They want to open up walls, they want to move plumbing, they want to move electrical, they want to move gas. So those situations are going to be a little bit more complex. But again, you really want to work with a designer to do that. Again, we have a few designers in-house that we use. So whenever you're designing a space, you really want to take pictures. You want to take a lot of pictures. I like to take pictures of the entire wall so that way we can see the entire space. So if you're watching this and we're requesting information because we're trying to do a design virtually, what we're going to need from you is you're going to have to take a picture of the entire space, all the walls. So let's say the fridge wall, the wall where the sink is, the wall where the oven is. So we need to see each wall. Now, another thing that will help us is if you measure the length of each wall. So from side to side, if you measure the length of each wall, that's going to help us out a lot. Another thing is we're going to need to know how tall the ceilings are. Typically, ceilings are between like 8 and 10 feet. 8 ceilings. 8 would be shorter. Like a lot of older houses are going to be 8 foot. A lot of the newer modern houses are going to be 10 feet. So you can get a tape measure and be able to measure from the ceiling. Now, again, if you're just sending this to us, this is just preliminary, so that way we can have an idea of how to design that space. And then whenever you're taking pictures, we really need to see the entire wall. So we need to see all the way from the left, all the way from the right, all the way from the top, all the way from the bottom. So you may have to take a few pictures so that way we can see everything. Now, so once the designers get it, a lot of times you can find designers on Fiverr, there's these sites that have these designers. A lot of the cabinet manufacturers, if you purchase the cabinets from them, they'll do the design for you for free. You just go in, they'll design, as long as you're purchasing cabinets from them. Okay, now let's say, for example, if you just want the design, typically they're gonna charge between $150 and $400 because they got to send someone out, do the measurements, etc. Some of them will give a credit, some won't. It just really depends. But the design is crucial if you're really trying to maximize the space. So one of the things I like to do is I like to add trash. I like to add it by the sink. A lot of cabinets or a lot of kitchens in homes in Georgia, they don't have a place for trash. You see the trash just sitting out in the corner and they really have no place to hide that trash. Another thing I like to do is I like to add extra pullouts. I created a video of the pullouts that I installed in my kitchen and they were great. It created so much more space by adding those pullouts. So you really want to think about creating a more usable, functional space for you. So the third thing that I like to do is that raised countertop that we see a lot in Georgia, we always want to cut that down. And you may have to relocate some of the electrical outlets. We want to figure out the color, what type of color that the client wants, how it's going to flow. You also want to kind of figure out if you want to do a two-tone. Two-tone is very popular. And of course, the style of the cabinets. The style of the cabinets is, probably going to be the make or break of the cabinet. So obviously you have shaker, you have raised panel, and we're getting a lot of requests more recently for European style. And right now I'm using I have one designer that I use that's virtual, and then one that's local. So if you want to design, you want us to design it for you, just go ahead and reach out to me. And my number is 770-450-0869, or you can just DM me from this message. I don't know if it's going to be on Instagram or it's going to be on YouTube, but yeah, you'd be able to reach out to me by calling my number or clicking a link. So we do those designs for you. As long as it's with us, it's just included as part of the deal. So that's all we have. Now, the last part is the rendering. I love the rendering because I was a huge HGTV fan. I don't watch it as much now that I'm kind of doing it, but I still like to watch it to stay abreast. But I just love those transformations where you saw the kitchen, how it was to like where it is now. So that's the reason why you want to get with a really good designer. I kind of like designers that use the software 2020. They do have designers that use Pro Kitchen. To me, the colors and the depth and the quality of the design isn't as good as as 2020 design. But those are the top two that most people use. They'll use Kitchen Pro or Pro Kitchen, or they'll use 2020. So that's all I have. So if you want more information on the design process, this should be able to help you out. Like I said, if you want to do it yourself, I would just find someone on Fiverr that uses 2020 software, and then you would just give them the designs. If you want to use us, just reach out to us and we'll create the designs for you.